Alright, I wanted to make this video because I feel as though people still think that this is a democracy. Like, when you pay attention to the last election and, like, what people were saying go vote, go vote, go vote, even though they really just wanted you to go vote for Obama, and how people still had faith in this system, how people still think that, like, the people have a say or something like that. And it's like, if anything, this is a plutocracy, okay? This is not a democracy. You don't have a say, okay? The ruling class has a say. The elite have a say, okay? It doesn't matter what I want. It doesn't matter what you want, okay? At the end of the day, there's certain people that are always going to get what they want, no matter what. Doesn't matter who dies, who suffers. Doesn't matter consequences. It doesn't matter repercussions. They're always going to get what they want. And that's it. And the two parties are basically just two sides of the same coin. Okay, it's just good cop, bad cop. That's all it is. Okay, you have the Democratic Party that'll smile in the face and stab you in the back. You have the Republican Party that'll just shoot you in the face like fuck it, and that's it. And neither side really gives a fuck about you. And but people still haven't peeped that. People still think like there's somehow this silver lining, or somehow there are good guys. I mean, first of all, there are good guys, but they're so minuscule that they're almost irrelevant compared to everybody else, compared to the whole system. And let's talk about this ruling class. Let's talk about this ruling class, okay? Because people don't peep that the only people that can be elected, the only people that can run for office, the only elected officials that you can have are people that are either supported by the rich or people that are rich themselves. And that's it. Okay? That's it. So if you're not supported by the rich or you're not rich yourself, you can't be an elected official. So how can a system like that benefit the average person? Riddle me that. It's just amazing. You keep pulling people out of the same pool. Like, you keep taking people out of the same pool of people and expecting different results. Okay? We're basically run by aristocracy. There's a ruling class that gets to rule over the rest of us. They go to school, they go to all these prestigious schools to learn how to run us, and we go to school to learn how to serve them, learn how to be robots, learn how to be drones, learn how to go to school to make somebody else rich. That's it. They go to school to learn how to manipulate, indoctrinate, deceive, confuse, misinform the rest of us. That's politics in a nutshell. That's all politics is. Okay? I've just broken down what politics is. Manipulate, indoctrinate, confuse, misinform, deceive. That's it. But if you compare our democracy, which somehow is supposed to be like the best democracy in the world, the best, like, this is supposed to be the best system, the best form of capitalism, the best mankind can do. But if you compare it to like ancient Greece that existed thousands of years ago, it doesn't even stack up. In ancient Greece, every elected official could only be in office for one term, and they could never return to office. Okay, they had a regular 9 to 5. They weren't a politician full time all year round, and that's it. And you couldn't keep voting for the same people over and over and over and over again. Just like how you can't, like here, you can't keep voting for the same president over and over again. You serve 2 terms and that's it. Bye. Because you don't want people to get comfortable and pout. So that same logic that's applied to the president should be applied to the rest of Congress. No more of these loopholes. You can't have a democracy but have all these loopholes that contradict it. Then it's not democracy anymore. You can't say simply because you can go into a voting booth and cast your ballot that somehow you're in a democracy just because of that. No. There's other aspects of democracy in that. And in ancient Greece, anytime anything was about to go down, or they're about to go to war, or they're about to do anything, they had to vote on it, okay? The whole society voted on it, okay? It wasn't just a handful of people that got to just make decisions for everybody else. No. Okay, you're gonna go to war with Iran, you're gonna bail out the banks, you're gonna make weed legal, you're gonna do anything, everybody votes. You set up a day, you predetermine a day that everybody like doesn't do anything, just goes to the booth and votes. Period. But if we did that here, people have too much to say. And they peeped that, so they just said, hell no. like, I don't understand why, how they went out of their way to make sure that you don't have a complete say in everything. Like, I'll give you another example. How they have, like, separation of powers, checks and balances, this, that, and the third. But I remember, like, in 10th grade, when all this was broken down to me, okay, I got peeped off gate that it was rigged. I peeped off gate because it's like you have the judicial branch, you have the executive branch, and you have the legislative branch. But if you have, like, let's say you have a Republican that's president, and then a majority of people in the Supreme Court are Republican, and then a majority of people in Congress are Republican, then you have a dictatorship. You have, because no one can challenge, nobody will challenge anything the president does. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Or she could do whatever the fuck she wants. Nobody was there to challenge anything that they do. They can just rock out. It's that easy. It's that easy to rig. You're already in a totalitarian state, just like that. And it's also not a democracy because, first of all, you don't even give a fuck what takes place in this country in between elections, okay? The average person doesn't even give a fuck what takes place in between elections. It's only every 4 years that people even give a fuck. It's only every 4 years that you even have a say. And anybody with any kind of power or wealth or influence can just lie their way into getting more power, and then once they get in power, they can do whatever the fuck they want, and you don't even pay attention. And half the time, you already made up your mind about who you're gonna vote for anyway. So everything else is irrelevant, and you don't even know anything about these candidates. And both candidates serve the same people. They serve the same people. Like, I don't understand. Both sides serve the same people. Okay, we know who really runs this country. People want to say Illuminati. People want to say the Jewish people, Zionists, this, that, and the third. Okay, let me break it down for you. The real people that run this country, whether it's Illuminati, whatever, okay, are the two big to fail banks, the defense contractors, big pharma, big oil, big business, the Fortune 500 companies, the top 1%, the top 0.1%, the corporate mainstream media, the mega churches. Those are the people that really run this fucking country. Barack Obama does not run this fucking country. Barack Obama serves those people. Because the president is just a puppet position. That's all it is. Look at Bush. You can tell obviously somebody was pulling the strings. He was completely inarticulate, completely incompetent, completely amoral, completely apathetic. He didn't write his own speeches, didn't come up with the bills. He's just a puppet. Puppet with power, that's it. And then now you have these voter ID laws where they try to make it so less and less people can even vote. Less black people can vote, less young people can vote, less women can vote, less senior citizens can vote. And it's all intentional. It's all intentional. But somehow this is democracy. And all the people that you vote for, they just get into power so they can look out for each other. So they can look out for their buddies, and so they can look out with the same people they came up with, the same people they went to these elitist schools with, Yale, Harvard, Princeton, etc. So they can just look out for 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 their friends or their family, and that's it. Everybody else, who the fuck cares? Oh well, whatever happens to you happens to you. You're relevant. Okay, you're relevant. And I'm irrelevant. If you're not a part of that elite class, if you're not one of the people they're in bed with, oh well. But somehow this is still democracy. And you can tell that they don't care about anybody else. All they care about is their buddies. They don't care about nobody else. Everything is, how is this gonna affect my buddies? How are my niggas gonna benefit from this? How are my niggas gonna get a come up from this? That's all it's about. That's how all the decisions are made. That's it. Who else it affects, the negative repercussions from it, who cares? That doesn't matter. We're not even in the equation. Okay, this is a plutocracy. It's not a democracy. Because you don't have a say. The top tier has a say. It doesn't matter who's president, doesn't matter who comes into power, they're always going to be pulling the strings. That's it.